Hello and welcome to this edition of Diaspora Central. I am Gil Ingles, and with us today on the spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, directly from Washington, D.C., it's one of the voices that is definitely made Washington proud, has made the DMV be fully represented in the R&B scene, in the gospel scene, and if you talk vocals, this lady is definitely a vocalist, naturally a vocalist. Indigo. Welcome to
What up, what up, what up? Oh.
What's up, lady?
Oh my goodness. Long time.
Yes, indeed it is. Indeed it is. Vocalist, writer, dancer, creator.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know about that dancer one.
Yeah, dancer. We seen you. We got video of you dancing.
I take good instruction. I take, you know what I'm saying?
There you
When
go.
you need me to do a two-step, I can work that out.
Yeah. Seeing you acting too.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's a story behind that, but you know, had a little plug situation for HBO. We own the city, and my first time actually doing any kind of acting work, because I literally have had no interest in acting. I still don't have an interest in acting. Yeah. But it was a good experience. It was just, and people always get on me when I say just the background part, because I got shown in the camera a couple times. So it was a thing. No speaking or anything. It was fun. You get to be on set and see people in their element, and literally it was work, you know, and I was grateful for that time, and that has passed me by at this point.
Yeah. No, but you know what? That generation of artists such as yourself, those that actually still believed in being a triple threat, right? Having the ability of do multiple things is something that somewhat, I guess, is starting to get lost. I guess it had gotten lost, and now is actually revitalizing, right? I should say it, because at one point it seems like he kind of had gone away, like in the 2000s, like between 2010, and now he's starting to revitalize, starting to come back. People are starting to still see that value. But here at Diaspora Central, we really like to showcase individuals for all the things that they have done, not only in the diaspora as our own culture, but also in regards to the continent. And I kind of want to start with the accolade for you. Okay.
Okay.
You probably do not know, but you are the voice of one of the songs that has actually made an African movie, or let's say what they call a Nollywood movie.
Okay.
Right. And do you remember what the song was?
I don't. It's been so long. Good. You have to refresh my memory here.
Peace.
What is it?
Peace. The song was Peace.
Peace. Ah.
All right.
He's in the storm. He's in the rain.
There you go.
He's in the sun. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So and peace, it's one of those uplifting songs that I believe that if one gets to a point in which they kind of feel like their rubber band is stretched quite enough and it's about to pop, you can definitely stop for a second, listen to that, and kind of get a bit of I guess direction, guidance, peace.
Yeah, some peace.
Yeah, you can
find it if you don't have it. Find you some.
Indeed. And I start with peace because, in all honesty, by kind of watching your career, by watching you, by knowing you, that's one of the things that you have always somewhat found a way of ensuring that it was somewhat part of your environment. And a lot of times it almost felt like in a group of several, you were always the one who may have already lived already and knows what some of the answers are. So people tend to kind of sometimes go to you for guidance.
Yeah, that's funny that you said that, but I think somehow that people surmise certain things that, and I appreciate it. I really do. I think I've heard that, especially when you go all the way back in the day, girl group and all that kind of stuff, people kind of look to me as a lead or leader. And it's so weird because the people who are often in those types of roles in their lives or take that on, a lot of times they don't even feel that way about themselves. So it's like, I didn't feel that way about me. I was just kind of being me.
Right.
And, some people look at it as, leadership. Some people look at it as arrogance. Some people look at it as, everybody has a different perception of how they see me,
No,
but it all comes from a good place. It all comes from me. It's the core of who I am. But there was I had a lot of confidence issues and things like that that people just did not see. Struggles with anxiety, really bad. I mean, I know that's a word that's thrown around a lot out here now.
Right.
People are always kind of seeking to label something, but that is a real serious struggle for me. Even to this day, I'm kind of working my way through that. Every kind of role that I put myself in, I kind of have to freshly deal with that all over again. Yeah. But I do appreciate that. I do really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I was saying that to kind of go to the point that normally does not just start with you. Your upbringing, your background, the ones that have come before you, the ones on whose shoulders you stand on, kind of played a role in it. And that's what we kind of want to go back. So with Indigo, let's try to go back into the upbringing. Let's start with mother, father, grandmother, the surrounding that made Indigo.
How deep are you trying to go, bro? How deep?
I'm trying to go as deep as you're willing to go.
Because it's so funny. Like, I mean, all of these things have led me like currently to, where I am today. But yeah, I mean, going back to maybe, I don't know, 3-year-old Indigo, always kind of having a voice, singing in church choirs and always being called on to sing that song, sing. I Got Love on My Mind by Natalie Cole, or, whoever you always put on the spot when you kind of have that voice as a child. My mom sang in the choir at church. My grandmother sang. It's kind of a generational thing that there was an expectation once it was, discovered that I actually could sing, even just an inkling. I'm always called on to sing for whatever, it's the family reunion. Sing that song, sing that Whitney Houston song, And actually, again, I did not have confidence at all. I wasn't that child who was like, give me the microphone, so I just want to sing. That wasn't me at all. So yeah, but the music stuff started really early on in life, and I kind of couldn't escape it, no matter what I would do, no matter where I would go, no matter what people I would end up around. It always put me back into music, somehow, some way. Even currently, we'll get there. I'm sure you'll get us there. But even currently, I had a long, super long, like decade-long gap where I didn't do music as an artist, at all. So I don't know if I answered your question, but going back.
You definitely did, and we went to where we wanted to go, because I mean, it starts with the family, right? It starts with the family.
Yeah.
So you mentioned church in there. What denomination and what church was it?
Originally Baptist, Southern Baptist, being from a small town outside of Charlottesville, Virginia. It was Baptist churches. Typically in that area were, all the Black churches at that time were more Baptist in that particular region of Central Virginia. So I was part of a church called New Hope Baptist Church. On my mom's side, and on my dad's side, there was Mount Pleasant Baptist Church that I was part of. Yeah, but always in church, whether I wanted to be or not. That was kind of the fundamental thing of kids back in my generation. There was not really a whole lot of conversation about whether you wanted to attend church or not.
Right. It was a requirement.
Mom goes, you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And that is good. That is good because they gave you the fundamentals that have made you who you are today. Give us mother's name and father's name if you don't mind also.
Sure. My mom's name is Vivian. Her nickname for many years has been Heatley, and I still have no idea where that came from. And my dad, rest his soul, he died in 2007. His name was George, and his nickname was Googie. Now,
you come from a big family, a lot of siblings?
I don't. I only have one brother, and he's 6 years younger than me. Yeah, so I come from actually a large extended family, but my immediate family is very small.
Yeah, that's good. So church definitely looks like it played a big role in your life and in the life of your family.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Now, at what stage did you actually realize that you could sing, or that you felt somewhat comfortable at least performing before a lot of people?
There was a couple of school talent shows, things like that. I always kind of in church, I felt very comfortable singing on the choir, but not really singing the leads.
Gotcha.
But I would always get called on to sing leads, and I had to kind of suck it up and do it. I didn't really, honestly, Gil, I can't say I really, as weird as it sounds, because we performed in front of thousands of people. You know, when I was in a girl group, we did Unifest back when that was a big thing in DC, and I mean thousands of people out there. I think we opened up for Destiny Child or something.
Yeah.
And I wasn't comfortable then. I mean, you couldn't tell that, but that comfort level has taken many, many years to get through, honestly, for me. Yeah. So
No, and that is definitely good, because I mean, it never shown, which makes you a professional. So let's take our first break and kind of take a look at one of the first videos. And this one is special to me. You know why this one is very special to me?
Why?
Because this one was actually my first debut in front of the camera. I was always the guy behind the camera, like capturing the moments, right? On this one, I'm actually sitting. Although they can't see my face, I can see my jacket. So I'm never getting rid of that. Oh man. And this was I believe your first solo video. Yeah, your first solo official video, which was Search My Heart.
Oh my.
Yeah?
Oh wow.
Can we take a look at Search My Heart?
Sure, let's take it back to the Stone Age.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at Search My Heart by Indigo. What was the title of that project?
It was called the Indie First Project, Breakthrough.
There you go, Breakthrough, Indie First, right here on Diaspora Central Spotlight. We'll be right back.
Introducing Indigo. God is good, baby.
Search my heart, Lord, search my heart. Change me, Lord, so that I can treat my neighbors right. Wash me, Lord, so that I'll be pleasing in thy sight. I don't wanna step out your will, and when I give you praise, wanna be for real. Say what I mean, what I say, live in your presence every day. So Lord, search my heart, find anything not like you, take it away. Yeah.
back. If you just joined us, you now tuned into Diaspora Central Spotlight with Gil Ingles and Indigo. Yes, Indie first. The breakthrough. There was the project, and the video was Search My Heart. Let's talk a little bit about that video. Who wrote the song, music? Let's go into some of the details. Then the video, who shot, who directed, and all that.
Okay, let me get all of those names in my head.
There you go.
I spent a long time.
Indeed.
You're going back to like 2000 and what?
Yeah, early 2000, like 2005, 2008.
It was 2008. I'm
2008.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. So let's see. Tyra McKenzie, a guest on your show.
Yeah.
She actually wrote the lyrics to the song, if I can recall. I don't think it was even a co-writer on that one.
Yeah.
She wrote that song. She actually was in the studio with me, giving me pointers on. She did a lot of vocal production on that as well. And Jared Anderson, that was his music, his track.
Indeed.
Jared is a phenom at this point.
Yeah.
You know, that was many years ago, and now full circle, we used to call him young boy.
Indeed.
You know, because he was like 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
You know, banging out music like that.
Right.
Back then. And now, you know, he's producing. He's a part of a production team. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Anikan Invader.
Yeah.
If they still go by that moniker. And they've done production for so many notable artists.
Yeah, mainstream. He's mainstream now. Yeah.
Notable artists. And I'm very proud that, you know, he actually worked on something back before he even got to that point, and still doing his thing. The video, I believe, was shot. There's a guy, Pierre Walters. I don't remember the name of his company because it wasn't just him. It was a guy named Miles. I think they were part of the same team, Pierre and Miles.
I think it was Blue something, wasn't it? Blue
Artist.
There you go.
Blue Artist Entertainment, I believe.
Yeah.
I still follow Pierre on Facebook. We, you know, interact here and there. I think he has a book out now and doing a lot of amazing things. So, you know, it's been good to kind of see where people are now. Yeah. You know, even from working with them back then. Indeed. And still have, you know, immense respect for everybody that I've worked with.
Yeah, indeed. No, and that's what's beautiful about life. It's actually seeing that evolution in all of us, and how it. I mean, things just kind of continuously roll and evolve, and things get better. It just gets better. All we have to do is be the best that we can be.
Evolution is it's inevitable. Honestly, I mean, anybody that's the same. I mean, the core of us is obviously the same. You know what I mean? Right. Usually. Yeah. Unless, you know, some things change our perspective, life, you know, living, you know, love, betrayal, just experiences do kind of shape and mold who we become. So, I mean, you might not be the same person at 41 that you were at 21. Right. And that's just the nature of life, you know. Indeed.
Yeah. Now at school, we didn't touch on school yet. While going to school early on, what schools? Actually, let's start. What schools did you go to?
Oh my! You about to open up a rabbit hole on this one. So, if you're talking about like high school,
no, let's go back to elementary school. We want to really start.
Oh my! Okay, so. I went to Oak Crest Elementary School, which was in Seat Pleasant, Maryland. I went to Walker Mill Middle School, PG County, Maryland. I went to about 3 high schools. Oh, wow. And no, it's not because my parents were in the military. It's because I was a bit of an a-hole and was always in some ish. And so literally I went to 3 high schools in 4 years.
Yeah. Wow.
So I started out at Suitland High. I got in some trouble. I went to live with my dad in Virginia, went to Albemarle High School in Charlottesville for half of that year. Then when I came back home, I went, my mom was like, I think private school will fix you. Let's put you in private school. Maybe that'll do it.
Right.
Went to Elizabeth Seton High School for about a year. That didn't fix me. I was still off the chain. and and anyway, I ended up back at Suitland and graduated from Suitland High School in, I'm not going to say the year. I'm not going to date myself.
No, totally understand.
But I did graduate from Suitland High School on time.
Right.
All of my shenanigans did not keep me from graduating high school.
There you go. And one of the interesting things, and for a lot of people that don't know, Suitland High School is really, I mean, especially around that time, it was really the honeycomb of creatives.
Yeah, it was. What's very interesting is when I tell people I went to Suitland, they automatically assume because of their arts program.
Right.
I was there. I was actually there because of their university program because, whatever. I mean, I wasn't there for the arts. I was there. I wasn't even doing any singing or anything when I was at Suitland.
Oh, okay. So
my scores, my testing implied that I needed to be, with the intellectuals, if you will.
There you go. So, so while at Suitland, did you take part on any music groups, or were there any teachers that were sort of an influence to you also? Not even just artistically, even just academically.
No, not at all. I was in a major rebellion stage in that part of my life.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was a certified a-hole to everyone, including my parents. And so I did not get into singing while I was at school, in high school anyway.
Okay. So you eventually graduate, and at some point you have to approach the microphone now as somewhat of a career or something to do aside from the rebelliousness that you're going through at that point in time.
I mean,
when did that happen?
I went to college. I went to North Carolina Central University after I graduated. And I hated it. I really did. I hated school. I hated Durham, North Carolina. I didn't have a car. It was just like, oh God, why am I here?
Right.
At the time, I had a boyfriend who I eventually married. And, he was up and down the highway every weekend to come see me and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I just didn't want to be there. So I went there full school year. And my following school year, I came back to the Maryland area, ended up at Montgomery College for a little bit.
Okay.
And got married very young, 21 years old. And after that, I decided to go back to college and went to Bowie State, which is where I actually got my degree in sociology, and criminal justice was the concentration.
Okay.
However, in between getting married and graduating from Bowie State, I started being approached and started getting into music a little bit. Okay. That's where it started. Met someone who started putting me in certain circles, and eventually met Reggie, who you've also had on your show, Reginald Rainey.
Right.
And it kind of went from there.
Exposure Entertainment. At that point was Exposure Production still.
It was Exposure Production still.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I was getting in at he had been, doing his thing for a while. Yeah. And was looking to expand his business to include more groups and more music, but he also needed to kind of fill in gaps for a girl group situation that he already had going on.
Right.
And we all know I mean, the elephant in the room,
Mm-hmm.
800-pound elephant. Girl groups don't work.
Oh,
We
come
all
on now. They do work.
They don't. They don't last. They just. I mean, it's like maybe one. You'll find one in there somewhere, an anomaly.
Yeah. They always lead. See, my opinion is that they always lead to something, because eventually, I think
They
all
always
groups,
lead to something.
all groups
You are
kind of lead
correct.
to something. Yeah.
Yeah, they all. You are correct. Like they always lead to something, but what they don't lead to is being together for the long haul.
Right.
You know, it just doesn't. I don't know
forever.
the science and the psychology behind why girl groups do not work.
Indeed.
If I did, I would probably be rich by now.
Oh.
But they don't. They don't work. But
Yeah.
we had a few more changes in our front line, and ended up getting a record deal, and all that kind of stuff. And that story could take 10 years that we don't have to talk about today.
Nah, we definitely don't. But you mentioned a few a few people there whose names I think would be important for this conversation. One is, who's the person that starts to put you, I guess, surrounding you somewhere into the music industry? Do you still remember the person's name? Do you know who the person is? Can you say the name?
Who put me in the music industry?
Yeah, I mean, who kind of approached you and kind of started throwing you into the shows that you said, or bringing you around music people? Because remember you mentioned being...
Nah, not saying his name.
Oh, no?
We're not giving him no shine. We're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it light on the conversation.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it's somebody that is connected and, not one of my favorite humans on the earth, based on how business is done and stuff like that. But definitely, like you said, everybody has a part of your story somehow.
Yeah.
So I won't, I won't go into a bad talking spree about anyone. Yeah. But certain things I'm just not willing to kind of put my energy in. And sometimes talk about sometimes you even say a name and it just triggers.
Totally understand. Yeah, totally understand. Yeah, so anyway, we move on, but you eventually end up at Exposure Entertainment, and this is how you and I meet, is actually at Exposure, right? Or Exposure Productions at the time, right?
Yeah.
So and I think we may have some clips of some of that stuff from Exposure. Let's go into something from Exposure in which you may have directly or indirectly been involved in on this break, and then we'll come back and continue our conversation. If you just joined us, if you now join to us, you're definitely checking out Diaspora Central Spotlight with Gil Ingles, and our guest today is Indigo. Yes, Indie first. We'll be right back.
It's like a real brief pause. Okay. So break the chains, now you can fly above. Okay. And hold that above. Okay. All right. Here we go. Jesus said, come on to me, break the chains, now you can fly above. Yeah, that was good. You went a little flat in the middle of the above. Okay. Break the chain, now you can fly above.
Yo, what up? This is Kwame, and I just want to give a special shout out to Indigo. I've worked with Indigo many times for many years, and hands down, out of all the people I've worked with, one of the best songwriters, one of the best performers. She has this great concepts, and one of the best singers I know. Indigo goes in. I'm so glad and so proud of the work she's doing. I'm glad that she's spreading the word, something that she's really always felt in her heart and her soul, and she's doing her thing. And I just give her utmost respect and shouts to Indigo. So Indigo, keep doing your thing. Come back to the studio one day. I miss you over here. All right, peace. Kwame, out.
And we are back. If you just tuned in, you're now joined into the Diaspora Central Spotlight with Gil Ingles, and our guest today is Indigo. Yes, Jocelyn Indigo Sanders. Oh man, we used to mess with you with your last name. Remember, we used to say, she's not a Sanders, she's a Saunders. That's the rich part of the name.
Sanders with a U.
Yeah, with a U. No, which is quite cool. Now, one of the things that a lot of people don't know about you, you're a little bit of bilingual too, right? You speak a little bit of other languages, right?
Speak a little Spanish.
A little bit of Spanish, yeah. So very culturally diverse. We see you sporting Africa right in your hearing and in your hair. So your initial introduction to Africa, what was it?
Oh my goodness! I mean, to the actual continent. I mean, I've had work, over there. I did some singing in Ethiopia. It was a gig. It was the sweetest gig ever, honestly. I wish I fell in love with Addis Ababa over there.
Yeah.
My initial interaction with Africa, I guess, would be my mom. When she remarried someone from Africa.
Okay.
So I did get a little in tune with the culture by way of marriage, and she learned how to cook a lot of the food. He's West African, so she learned how to cook the egusi and the fufu. Yeah, and she cooks it like she's from there. So yeah.
What country was he from? By the food, we can already tell. But what country was he from?
Nigeria. Yeah. So she learned a lot of cooking techniques and things like that. But I come from a household where I was always, we spoke about African culture and pride and heritage at the dinner table. Like it wasn't, a lot of kids are getting that from friends and from school and from interaction with people. But my household was very pro Black pride, pro African pride, pro, love the skin you're in, you know what I mean? So there's no such thing as good hair, bad hair. And, I was raised like that, from the jump. So I appreciate my parents for raising me up that way. We didn't deal with colorism and stuff like that in my immediate family. So I feel really blessed to not have had, those kinds of scars and trauma to have to deal with.
Right.
But in terms of Africa, at that point, by the time that I got to Ethiopia, I was, singing, and I had already been signed, and I had already been a solo artist and a writer for other people and things like that. And I got an opportunity to sing with a band, a live band, 4 days a week or 4 nights a week at a upscale hotel entertainment type of club in Ethiopia. I did it for about 2 years total. It was 3 months on, 3 months off. So you would go for 12 weeks, you would come home for 12 weeks, you would go back over there for 12 weeks. And I mean, I really am so happy I had that opportunity. I had no fears about Africa, or anything like that, because like I said, I learned differently in my home.
Right.
But a lot of the people that I was with, that allowed themselves, and I'm glad that they, took those stereotypes and threw them out the door so that they could have that opportunity. And once they got there, they were like, "Oh, this is Africa,
right?
Awesome!" It's these Black Americans have these weird myths that they believe, about what Africa is, and I'm like, it's the hood. You have the hood here, in America. And across town, you might have a very rich community. It's no different. It's not like everyone walking around with no shoes on. And of course, you have communities like that in Africa.
Indeed.
And just like you have wealthy communities. And I was always hoping that more of us would kind of get the hint and just go. I mean, because other cultures of people are going in droves over there.
Indeed.
And living their best life, without the fears that somebody has told us that we believe,
Yeah.
So I had the time of my life. I was able to get paid, you know, singing basically covers, top 40 pop music, and entertain, you know, the visitors of that hotel, which were oftentimes a lot of dignitaries, and Sheikh Muhammad Al-Amoudi actually owned that particular hotel, the Sheraton Addis.
Right.
And a lot of those types of people were coming in to see us perform. They had heard about us. They would come in. And on the 12 weeks that we were there, that we were gone, another group from, I believe they were from Atlanta, would come in, do 12 weeks, and they would go home, then we would come back, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And that went on for about 2 years or so before they finally shut it down.
Yeah.
Because as you can imagine, it probably got very expensive for them to fly an entire 10-piece band over from America, you know, several times a year, and house us in, you know, because we lived in the hotel while we were there. We were fed in the hotel while we were there. We had a driver the entire time. It was amazing. It was an amazing experience. And I really want to go back and visit, you know, on my own dime. But I guess I got kind of spoiled because I was going over there.
No, but it's still good. You still have the opportunity of possibly still going back for free. You have done plenty for Africa, because I mean, aside from being in Ethiopia, you have worked with many African artists and producers at Exposure Entertainment also, and those connections do go a long way, and they create the path for many great things that still are to come. Now, now, as part of us owning the narrative is really the ability of us being able to control that narrative, and that's part of why we actually do Diaspora Central, because that allows you to be able to tell this story that you just told without being edited, without being cut, by actually telling your experience, so that others like you can also see that, you know what, going to the continent can actually be a good thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, family was like, girl, be careful. You know, be careful over there. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? You have to be careful when you're walking down your own street in the States. You know, I'm like, I got my first trip there. I got really sick in my stomach. You know, the water stuff is different. But after like 2-3 days of an upset stomach, I was good. And every time I went back, I never had that issue ever again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Your body eventually adapts to it. Now, now, of course, in the process of all this, eventually you do become a mom.
Oh my!
You mentioned marriage. You didn't mention the husband's name. Let's start there.
Okay, Bashan. You know, we're gonna just call him the husband guy.
There you go.
But we. So weird, because we never wanted kids, honestly. So that's why we waited so long. I mean, even in the 11th hour, we were kind of like, you know, the clock is, you know, are you sure? Are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah.
You know, and we just kind of made a decision and planned, you know, planned to go ahead and she, you know, came about. There were, you know, a couple of stumbling blocks and stuff like that, you know, things that I would love to at some point be able to kind of talk about, because it's relevant to women, you know, women fertility issues and things like that, you know, things that that happen with women and happen with our bodies and things like that. But, you know, at the end of it all, I am blessed that I was able to have this delightful, beautiful, like intelligent, quirky, funny little girl, and her name is Charlie. Charlie Denver. She likes to call herself by her first and middle name.
There you go. Charlie Denver. Yeah.
Charlie Denver.
Yeah. Very confident.
Yeah, she's a little different.
Yeah.
She was reading at 3. And so I mean, she's, you know, I remember sharing a screenshot of a text message she had my husband and I in a thread on a text message going back and forth with us because she was at her Nana's about something she wanted to do. And people were just kind of like, you know, that's good that her Nana wrote that text for her. We were like, no, she actually texts us all the time. She's been doing this for like 2 years or more, you know, like this is really happening. You know, I had to get video to show people like, no, this child is actually sending you text. She's sending my friends text from my phone.
Right.
Yeah. She's a little different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she has been a very bright light in my life, and very grateful that we did make the decision, albeit late, and all of my friends, kids are grown, and or driving them to the supermarket and this and that. And
it's still okay. That time comes too.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, I have my friends' kids are asking me to have play dates with my kid. I'm like, no, I'm not going to have play dates with you. I'll change your pamper. I have play dates with my kid and your kid. Like, no. But anyway. Yeah.
No, and one of the things that, of course, during that time also it came a period in which, of course, you had to devote yourself to family, which you kind of did. But just from a fan's perspective, someone that honestly admires your voice and enjoys your music, are there any plans of you coming back?
Oh, man. So we got to unpack that a little bit. Yeah. I know we're running out of time, but so my daughter's 7, and I dealt with a really bad bout of postpartum depression. And that's a whole other conversation that, you know, perhaps something to get into at some point at another interview.
Yeah, I can probably, and you giving me a very good idea, because I think I may have to set up one interview where we can talk about really like those human issues.
You gotta get into you gotta get into this stuff, man. I mean, this is real life stuff that's impacting people, and especially in our community.
Indeed.
We are kind of like, you know, girl, that's just the baby blues. Everybody goes through that. The babies, they gonna cry. You gonna be okay. And I'm like, I'm dying here. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm gonna actually make it.
Yeah.
I need somebody to talk to me about this, whatever this is. This cannot be normal, you know. But you know, I definitely got through, and on the other side of that. Yeah. But there was a period of time where I just could not create anymore. So I have continued to sing because it's a part of my profession. I sing professionally. I'm a part of what they call agency bands, where, you know, I sing in a band for a lot of corporate events, bar mitzvahs. I sing in Hebrew, so I do a lot of bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, wedding receptions, things like that. And it's an awesome outlet. You're able to sing and have fun, and, you know, make people's night. You know, whether they're sober or drunk, they're having the time of their life. They're hearing their favorite songs. And I've been doing that now for about 10 years. So I continue to do that. But in terms of creating music, like you know, Search My Heart, you know, when I did that back in 2008, and other things that I had been doing, I had put out a couple of singles here and there. I think one was in like 2015, right around the time she was born. I had recorded something before, but I hadn't put it out until I believe around the time she was born, called The Concept. And I mean, honestly, I just lost the desire to sing. Flat out lost the desire to sing artistically as an artist, outside of just the job that I would do to go to work and to perform for people. And I had not done that for going on 8 years now, until about a month ago, maybe a little less than a month ago, I reconnected with a couple of friends of mine that worked out at Exposure Entertainment for many years. Elliot and Lamont, who they head up One Vision Productions, and they have their own studio in the Greenbelt, Maryland area. And basically, kind of reached out, like, I don't remember if they reached out or I reached out, but I definitely said that I wanted to complete some songs that I started back before I had to deal with postpartum depression.
Right.
And I was afraid they would not have the songs anymore. I mean, I've been a ghost. They haven't, I was kind of powering through life. I got a full-time job, working for a certain company, and all of these things kind of derailed my existence as an artist.
Yeah.
So I didn't think they would even have those files anymore, and was just asking if they had the music, because I remembered the song and wanted to start over.
Right.
And I could just record it from scratch. And he, Lamont, contacted me and basically said, "Hey, I still have the files. Do you want to come in and tweak anything that you already recorded?" And
so you're talking about the full session.
The full session. Wow. He had the full session, from that I recorded 8-9 years ago. I could not believe it. It brought tears to my eyes, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I felt so honored that he was like, "Oh, we're not throwing your stuff away. Like, are you kidding me?
Right.
One way or the other, we figured you would get back to it, and I went in and, I heard some stuff that I was like, this could be better. I don't really want to say that anymore. I kind of want to tweak this. I want to change that. And re-recorded a good portion of it, but kept a lot of what was there intact.
Indeed.
And completed that song. And currently, the person that's mixing it is their referral, but I've heard his mixes and they're amazing. So he has a waiting list, like for mixes. Right. So I'm waiting to get to hear my finished product.
Right. Okay, so there's definitely new music coming out by Indigo.
There's music coming.
Yeah. So
I said all of that to say, I'm out of my cave.
There you go.
Okay. I'm out the cave.
Yeah.
I'm out of the fog. I have a lot of life to kind of talk about. And I enjoy singing. I'm just at a point now where I love to sing. I want to sing about something that feels good to me.
Indeed.
I want to sing over vibey tracks.
There you go.
I'm not trying to be, 20 and 30 anymore. I'm grown and sexy. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I love the Lord and all that, but it's like at the same time, I want to do music that I want to get in front of a crowd and sing with the band and chill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think
riding in your car in the summertime type of music, you know?
Yeah. No, I believe the music has chosen you, because for anyone that has heard you before, and I've had the privilege of hearing you in the booth and hearing you live and hearing your records, you definitely have a voice that was given to you as a gift from God to gift other people. And for that, I would like to say thank you for always doing so. You know that on your first project, you have a song, I believe it's track number 7. I don't even remember the name of the song. I just know that it's track number 7. It's like my favorite song in that album. I'm always like, that one is on my playlist at all times. It's like,
how does it go, Gil? How does it go? Sing it to me. Sing it to me.
No, I'm not singing. I'm not messing with you. Trying to set me up. Trying to set me up. See, then you got people overseas saying, "Oh man, so that music producer, did you hear him sing on that interview?" Yeah. But it's definitely, I mean, you have always put out very good content. I mean, even I mean, from the beginning, really, you have always been very, very knowledgeable, and you have always known somewhat what you really kind of wanted as a product. So that has always been very good of you. You have made you have always made people have to step up their game in a way, because you knew exactly what you wanted. And Indigo, it's been a great pleasure having you. I need one promise from you. Actually, a couple of promises. Let me put it that way. Promise number 1 is that you are going to bring us the song as soon as it is done, so that we can showcase it for you also. And 2 is that you're going to give us one interview, or be a part of a panel of I'm kind of now like creating, just as we talk, and of a panel of a show where we can actually talk about some of those issues that have to do with maternity and things like that, because a lot of times we disregard that, and especially in our communities, because it's something very new to us. It's not something that we even have the tools to deal with or understand. So
it's not new to us at all. It's just that we as a culture have never had to really tackle it. Right. You know, white culture, they embrace saying like, it's okay, you're suffering, and let's call it what it is. You know, we're more like, we're strong. We're, you know, strong Black women. We can handle it. It's nothing that we can. We're super moms, and this is not a thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so we minimize. Yeah. So we're definitely we can get into that. I'm excited.
Yeah, so we can probably do that, and in all honesty, I even make you an offer here. If you feel that there is probably any value in you, maybe even doing like a 15 minutes every month with the community, and you need a platform to do so, I can definitely try to facilitate whatever necessary to do that, because I really find value in things like that, because they do help us and help the community move forward. And
well, I have one more plug.
Yeah, so, go
on. So we talked about the music stuff, but in my journey, while I was kind of laying low, I was working on some other stuff. So
there you go.
Make sure that you guys, I have a small business also. It's called Vintage Only Vibes.
Okay? Entrepreneur. Hold on. This is not like I have one plug. This is not just a plug. You gotta unpack that a little bit. Okay. So
we're gonna end the interview, but I don't want to leave without telling people they can go on Instagram, go to Vintage Only Vibes, and I have been curating and selling vintage items, meaning 25 years and older. Antiques, some antique stuff, which is 100 years and older, that I have been sourcing and collecting and selling. And, you know, it started kind of as a hobby, and it turned itself into quite a good little business. Yeah. So that's one of my loves is antiques and vintage stuff.
Got you.
So so make sure you check that out as well, and you can follow me also on Indigo Inspires on Instagram as well.
Okay. Now, is there a website yet for the vintage?
Nope, I don't even go there. It's been pretty successful just doing it on Instagram. Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
So if I see a need to go that route, obviously I will.
Right. But and on Instagram is still on your Indigo Inspire handle.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So no, which is definitely good, because we kind of want to unpack that. I kind of want to unpack that a little bit. You're talking about vintage stuff, and you just taught our audience something, or you brought something up to our audience that they probably didn't pick up because they don't quite understand. You call an antique something that is at least 100 years old, and vintage has to be at least 25 years.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, are you doing anything, or just, or are there specific items that actually you deal with?
Well, I just try to find stuff that you know, is a lot of brass items and glass. Lots of, you just have to kind of go in there and see. I'll find stuff that I don't do like large, you know, like dishes and things like that. You know, everybody has their own niche. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as long as it's in stellar condition, you know, things that are like 70, 60, 70, 80 years old, that looks like it might have just gotten put out of the box.
Yeah.
You know, old Pyrex bowls and things like that. Those things have a lot of value, a lot more value than people think.
Oh,
you know
definitely.
What I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, I've made a little business out of it, and I love it. That's like the old lady in me coming out now. It's fun. It's fun.
It's definitely a good thing. And guess what? I think that the third thing that I was going to say, the third promise, is that you probably going to have to visit Angola within the next 2 years.
I'm coming.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We got that because, I mean, a lot of people don't know you have actually been, I mean, you've been one of the influences between an artist like Irina Franca, who is actually
I love her.
Yeah, that's another that
Paul G.
I
still follow them on the gram.
Yeah. Then Bruna Tatiana. Oh my goodness. Listen, Betty G. You kind of like you definitely, Africa is home for you. We just kind of need to continue taking you back as often as you can.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, this was fun. Let's do it again.
Indeed. No, definitely. And listen, I'm gonna get if not myself, someone will definitely follow up with you in regards to what we talked about. And, and let's kind of streamline something, and then we'll definitely go from there. Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Indigo, go ahead and plug their business name again so that they know exactly what to look for in case they need any items that are either vintage or maybe even antiques.
All right. It's Vintage Only Vibes on Instagram, and you can find me at Indigo Inspires.
All right. And for those of you that for some reason didn't quite get that or are unable to read the ticker, remember, you can always visit diasporacentral.net and find that information in there. Indigo, thank you for joining us and sharing that little bit of time with us. Yeah. Listen, I love you, sister.
I love you too, bro.
All right. And tell everyone I said hey, and for those of you that also took time out of your busy schedules to kind of join us during this beautiful hour, I appreciate you guys for doing so. And remember, sometimes you don't have to listen to everything you hear. You got to go and check it out yourself. Just like Indigo, make your way to Africa and you may know something different. Till next time, peace.